What are your two biggest concerns with him?
People coming in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not, he tries to protect her.
Yeah.
And he is anxious in the car and when he's out and other dogs.
So it sounds like a big thing of anxiousness, insecurity, not feeling secure in himself. That
Maybe, I don't know.
yeah, because if you get somebody that's in the house and they're fine, and then all of a sudden they leave and then they come back and they can't generalize that that's the same person. They're always on defense,
Yeah.
and if they're always on defense, that always means that they feel under pressure all the time. They feel as if they need to protect something all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
He doesn't have the ability to slow things down and go, oh, I know that person.
Right, he does not. Like,
Sometimes I don't know him.
Yeah, so we're not talking about a dog that's actually aggressive. We're just talking about a dog I believe is just insecure, nervous.
yeah, he's very nervous. Like he
He's
is now.
aggressive when you get to the door. I mean, letting somebody in the house is a major to do.
Yeah, but all of that is going to be up to you guys.
Uh-huh.
If a dog is aggressive or reactive at the door, it sounds silly, but that's a taught behavior. It's a taught behavior because it was never disclosed that was a bad behavior. Which means if you didn't do anything about it when it started getting really bad, that means he thinks that it's okay to do, which then is a taught behavior.
Yeah, what do you do about it?
Well, we're going to work on it.
Okay, yeah, because what she does is she'll yell at him. But he
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't.
pay attention.
Fixing the issue is the easiest thing that I'll be able to do for you guys today.
Okay.
The problem is figuring out exactly why he's doing it and teaching you guys how to do it. Like, if, say, somebody to walk through the door and he would freak out, I can fix that very quickly. But I'd like to give you guys a better idea of why it's happening. And so that's why I always explain first, because there's no issue for me to, okay, I'll fix it, and then you guys walk off. You guys won't be able to do it, because you don't know how I did it, right?
Now, why is he so nervous now?
He's just an anxious dog.
Okay.
It's not, why is he nervous now? Why is he nervous here? Why is he nervous there?
Yeah.
He's nervous because that's who he is.
Okay.
So maybe the better question would be, why is he a nervous dog?
Right.
That is going to be easier to answer than, because he's not just nervous here, he's nervous because he's not at the house. But then even if he is at the house, that's where you're getting the reactivity at the door, is because he's sleeping, he's laying down, he's presumed comfortable and okay. Somebody knocks on the door, comes through, he goes into, I got to protect everybody house.
Right, that's exactly what you're
So,
saying.
to get to the bottom of your question,
Uh-huh.
dogs thrive leadership, and they thrive off of a job. That's when they're best. Okay? And so if you don't have a job, or you don't have stuff for your dog to do, much like a young child, they get into trouble. You know, they play with the light sockets instead of their toys if they don't have toys. Right? They chew on the curtains if they don't go for a run, or whatever. They dig if they don't, these types of things. So if we don't outlet the behavior properly, and if we don't understand the mechanics of why these issues are happening, it'll never get better. So that's what I'm here to do. So anyway, all of what you're dealing with has nothing to do with fixing the physical behaviors. It's all mental. All of it is behavioral, mental stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're going to have a better opportunity to fix it, to just study what he's doing versus pulling him back from the door.
Okay.
Right? Like, because on the surface, it's, if we can stop him from lunging the door, you may think, okay, we fixed the issue, but then it's just going to bubble up somewhere else because he's still got the core anxiety or the core stress. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, anyway, he's whining, so put it all into a big snowball. He's whining now because he's unsure of what to do. He's like,
Right.
I'm not sure what to do. We're putting him into a sit, so that's good. That gives him something to do at the time. But he's asking basically the universe, why am I here? Who is this place? What is this place? What are we doing? He doesn't know what's going to happen. And so chances are he probably doesn't have a lot of socialization outside of the house in a positive way.
Right.
So like, if you go somewhere, for him, it may be to the vet, which they're going to stick him with a needle and, you know, probe him.
For
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, or yeah, bring him to a bath, or bring him here. So dogs live off of repetition and all sorts of different habits that we form as humans. And so when he's here, he's like, well, I've never really gone anywhere outside the house that's been awesome. Now what's going to happen here, right? So that's kind of what you're getting. But that's okay. That's just the type of dog he is. So
Okay.
anyway, now with the door, I'm going to switch gears into the actual door issue that we're talking about. When somebody comes to the door, right now it's a very negative thing. It's a stressful thing for you, it's a stressful thing for the dog, and it's certainly a stressful thing for the person at the door, right? So none of it's good.
Right.
And so we need to start looking about how can we get him to stop doing these things and stop making it, because it sounds like you said, like if your son's friends come over and he's fine, it's not I'm a dog, aggressive dog towards other people. It's a reactivity thing at a threshold, which is like if you guys sat here for half an hour and somebody knocked and came to that door, he'd probably do the same thing here, or it would be similar. It would be, I'm upset somebody's coming in. So what you need to do, long story short, somebody comes to the door, he thinks it's his job to say, get out of the way, I'll handle it. And a dog's responsibility, especially because we have a terrier, a dog's responsibility is to either scare something away that we don't know, which 9 times out of 10 he probably doesn't know the person. So it looks like an aggressive thing, and it's all this stress, and it's nothing good. So anyway, we need to start taking charge overall with him. I also think on the other side of it is we also need to calm him down. To take charge, we're going to start giving him a job. To calm him down, we're going to let him know that we know what we're doing. And all of those things are going to come in together. A lot of times people think that we have to be big and bad and alpha and dominant to tell a dog that we're in charge. Not at all. The calmer, more patient person you are, the dog will respond to that way better. Yeah.
So we'll go home now. I don't know why he thinks I'm such a weakling.
It's not. It's a good point, and I can't give you that answer. But sometimes we don't need to look at it as why he thinks we're such a weakling, instead of being like, what can I do to make him not think that? And again, it's not the alpha, any type of that stuff. It's more about just, okay, I'm going to start giving you a bunch of stuff to do, and you have to listen to me. My main goal here is to make him a calmer dog.
Good, yes.
Okay?
You can do that.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Mr. Vicious.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give him energy and provide him with leadership skills to try to make him a calmer dog. Which is like a dance, okay? When I get an animal in my hands, whether it's a coyote, a wolf, a Rottweiler, a pit bull, a shepherd, I never know what they're going to do. And so whatever information they give me, I have to analyze within the second and provide a good scene for the dog. So with a dog like this that has the potential to be aggressive, or you guys think he does, when he looks at me, I kind of avoid. I'm almost submissive to him. And I'm only submissive because I don't want him to see me as a threat. Okay? Because especially if he's staring right at me and he's right in the front, and he looks at me and sizes me up, I'm going to turn away and just tell him, like, I'm not here to have an argument with him. I'm here as a friend. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm ignoring him. If he looks at me and gives me front pressure, I turn to the side. If he smells me because of the other dogs, that's okay. And then I continue to just kind of move around, and I'm deflecting any type of conflict that he may presume. Okay? And then overall, I just want him to kind of be a calmer dog. So that'll take a couple minutes, but I think that he'll get better. Now, my intuition is telling me that, like, when you got up to greet me over here with the prong collar, he got nervous. You probably didn't notice it, but he was over here and he started whining, and he started getting a little bit more nervous than he was prior, which tells me, like you were saying before, is he may be just protective over you. Dogs are typically protective over their humans no matter what the circumstances, because that's their job. They don't actually ever do anything unless they really think that their owners are threatened. Which tells me if you just walk next to another human that he doesn't know, he feels like you're threatened, which means he doesn't have a lot of confidence in you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with what I think. He's telling me all of those things. So, meaning like if he's next to you and he's fine, and then you get up and walk away, and then he automatically freaks out, that tells me that he has an issue with you being out by your own.
That's actually true, because he tries to protect you from me.
He
Mhm.
does.
And that's not a dog thing, that's an animal thing.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees, giraffes, rhinoceroses, hippopotamuses, they do the same stuff. That's not him. He's constantly checking in, and so my job is to teach you more about your dog, because the more you know about your dog, the more you can fix the problems.
Okay.
And so a lot of times people just think it's this dog training fairy dust secret wand thing and fix the dog, but I think it's the success is going to come from the origin of what's happening. So anyway, that's what we're doing. But it's all interesting. He's telling me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
And if you just watch, that's what happens. So anyway, moving forward. So, you notice his behavior has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a different dog, but he's a calmer dog. He's more engaged now with me. So, before, I gave the prognosis of he doesn't have enough direction to be a calm dog, a secure dog, a balanced dog. And then I kind of answered my own theory, because what I did is I went this way and I started giving him a job. And if you watch his behavior as a dog, and you look at the dog behavior and the psychology behind him, he's so happy working with me like this. He's fulfilled. Right? He's like, okay, I'm not, look at the leash. I'm not. So he simply needs a little bit more structure and a little bit more guidance on what you want him to do.
Okay.
That will make him a happier dog. That will make him a more fulfilled dog. Right now, you don't have the power to say, you got to pay attention to me. I'm the one that's making decisions. So what I just did is I took a dog that was insecure, that was whining and circling and whining and circling, to that within minutes.
Yeah.
No magic fairy dust here. All it was is he didn't have the direction that he needed. He had no job. He was a loose cannon. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I simply went from back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I said, listen, 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 listen. If you don't, you get a correction. If you don't, you get a correction. And then voila. Now he's laying down.
Yeah, he is calm.
The only thing he wants to do is come to you guys and lay down. But that's what I want you guys to be able to do.
That's the army.
Or is, and in your defense, that's what a lot of people do think, is they think, okay, how are we going to stop him from lunging at the door? Well, that's easy. I can get that done in less than 30 seconds. I bet you $1 million. If I was at your house, I could end that behavior in less than a minute, 100% guaranteed. But that doesn't help the next time he's going to do it, or the next. Let's figure out the why. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to stop it at the time.
Yeah.
And you're going to be happy, but it's not really fixing the problem. It's kind of throwing a Band-Aid over it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, any questions so far?
No.
Okay, I'm going to break it down a little bit further. So, this exercise is what I call a tune-up. It's just, I don't really know any other way to put it. I'm just tuning him up to make sure he's in tune with me. That's all I'm doing. So, when I walk out to the end of the leash, and I say, okay, buddy, heel, or come, or whatever his command is, and I change directions, if he's not with me, he gets a quick pop. It's not a pull, it's not a choke, it's just a quick, It's like me poking him. That's all I'm doing, is I'm poking him, saying I'm going the other way. And as soon as he comes, it shuts off. Then he learns, and he is taught the behavior, that if I say come and turn and he's not paying attention, he's going to get a correction, which then in return, because he's smart, he's going to say, I'm going to listen to that guy because I don't want to get a correction. And then I can turn all over the room and I say come and he just follows me. So I correct him twice and maybe turn 15 times. And he's with me, 90% of the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the most important thing to understand about this concept for me is now he knows that if he understands a task or a command, and if he doesn't do it, he's going to get pressure or consequence, however that may be to the dog. That's the most important thing he's getting from this. Because then what we're going to teach him is we're going to teach him to go to his bed on command from anywhere in the room. Then we're going to teach him how to sit and stay on that bed from anywhere in the room. So the theory is if you don't comply once the behavior is taught or learned, which means we're not going to correct him and give him pressure and stress if he doesn't know it, that's not fair. Once he knows that when I turn and then I turn again and he has to follow, same thing with the bed, sit, stay, once he knows that behavior really well and he doesn't do it, there's a consequence. That's what I'm teaching him. Is this new relationship that we have is going to be not one-dimensional. You're not going to lose your mind and I'm not going to be stressed. We're going to work together and figure things out together. And so that way when you have somebody come over, bed, sit, stay.
They moved your entire couch.
I know it. I can turn it back. And you can see there's not a lot of stress here with him.
Right.
Not a lot of uncertainty. And so I created a relationship that he can respond to healthy, that he can mentally grasp. 41 minutes ago, if we were to bring another dog out, he'd be all over the place.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So, again, we're not focusing on telling the dog what they can and can't do. We're restructuring the relationship. We're teaching the dog that, and again, a lot of people think like, if you were to see it before and after, if you didn't see the in-between, you would say, what type of cruel punishment have we done with the dog to get him to be this calm?
Yeah.
When really all I did is I just told him that I can make the rules. And it's just like with children, is if you don't take charge and say, you got to listen to me, because that dog is not going to be good for you, then the dog's going to make all these sorts of mistakes. But more importantly, good. So did you see that?
Yeah. He said he's moving.
Yeah, she got up. He got kind of, hey, what's that? And I just gave him body pressure. And he sat back down. He said, you're right, sorry. I'll listen up. So that's good.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not trying to be forceful. I'm not trying to dictate his every movement at this current time. However, I am telling him that I am present. And you do have to check in with me before you make decisions. Because that'll ultimately make you a healthier dog. Which, that's my goal. A well-trained dog is great, but I'd rather a happier, mental, healthier dog.
Yeah.
Where we're not stressed. I'd much take he's curious.
Yeah.
And he's gone through screens after dogs in the next yard.
Not on my watch, right, buddy? Good job. So always rewarding him when he does something good.
Okay.
So when she moves around, that's when he gets curious.
Yeah.
But he's here with me.
Right.
He's not taking his eyes off me, which tells me he's been lacking this engagement for so long.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's getting it, and he's soaking it up.
Yeah.
And if you, like I said, I'll move his eyes over. You can see in his eyes that he's cool. He's just being a dog. Curious,
Yeah.
happy. Good job, buddy.